Okay, welcome everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us at today's workshop on development. This session is a part of the 36-hour virtual hackathon, which is going on at CrossKnot Hacks. I'll share the link to check it out and apply for it in the live chat. So today it's a great honor of us to have Mr. Khalid Khan and Mr. Abir Pal with us. They both are amazing engineers at Codiga. Codiga is a next generation code analysis platform that detects duplicates, breaches, and security problems in more than 10 programming languages and automates code reviews on GitHub, Gitlab, and Bitbucket. We wanted to help you manage your technical debt and improve the quality of your code. Hence, in today's session with our very own sponsors, Codiga, in which Khalid and Abir will provide us with some insights about how Codiga will help you write code better and faster. You can put your doubts in the live chat, which they both will answer by the end of the session. Thank you so much, and let's get into it. Over to you, Abir and Khalid.
Hey everyone, can I get my? By the way, hi everyone, this is Khalid. I am development engineer for Codiga, and we have Abir as well, Abir Pal from the engineering team of Codiga. So we're gonna walk through how Codiga works and what is. I have already told you what is Recipe Marathon, but I'll give you a short introduction again in this session. So Abir, you want to say anything, or shall we start?
I'm really excited to interact with the participants right there. So if you have any queries, do ask. And now you can start, Khalid. Yeah.
Sure. So, as the vision of the Codiga is to help developers write better code faster. By what do you mean by better code faster, right? So, about let me have a short introduction about Codiga. Before that, let us see what we are learning today. So, how coding assistant help you to code. Second thing is how we're gonna install Codiga Coding Assistant on VS Code and JetBrains. And third one is how to write code faster using Codiga Coding Assistant. Then fourth will be telling us how we can add code snippets to Codiga Hub, and then how to create groups and share your recipe with your teammates in the group on the Codiga platform. And the fifth one and the sixth one and the bonus thing is we're gonna make a Next.js application where Abir will be guiding you how to make a complete Next.js application using Codiga code snippets. So about me, a short introduction about me. Hey, I am Khalid from Codiga. I'm working as a DevRel engineer here. Apart from being at Codiga, I'm also an MLH coach and organizer to various communities and hackathon. And I like communities in hackathon and love to participate in them. So do reach out to me if you need any guidance or you need any help with hackathons in community at my Twitter, that is underscore Khalid Khan underscore. So about Codiga, we aim to provide developers a platform that will help them to write better code faster. Codiga coding assistants help you create, share, and import code snippets into your IDE that we call recipes on our platform. So we're going to use why use coding assistant, why don't write long snippets on the platform on your IDE, because Codiga code snippets or Codiga coding assistant help you to save time. Basically, when you are a programmer, you must have faced a problem that you are writing the same code again and again. For example, if you are making a React website and you are copying and same code of functions and same components again and again, it takes a lot of time. So with Codiga coding assistant, you can save time. Now, how the second thing how we can help users is to users create a recipes and share them on the platform. So any developer on the globe, if you have set your recipes in public, they can reuse them into in their ID. That means you get code recommendations from expert developers, expert programmers who are available on the platform. Note that all the recipes, all the code snippet on the platform are moderated by a supportive engineering team, so that the best quality code is delivered to you via Codiga. Now, using Code Assistant, you can focus more on the code logic instead of spending time writing code. As a developer, our main focus should be to write code logic, not writing same line of codes again and again. So the next thing is how you install coding assistants on VS Code and JetBrains. Right now, the Codiga coding assistant is available on the two famous IDEs, that is VS Code and JetBrains. So both of the plugins are available on the respective marketplace. You can find the link here. I'll also paste the link on how to get started with uh, VS Code and JetBrains in the description. I request the team to put it in the chat box. I have pasted both of them into the link. Either you can scan the QR code or refer to the link. It have a complete description on how you can get started with JetBrains and VS Code plugins. Next thing is how you install Codiga Coding Assistant on your IDE. It's very simple. You just have to go to the link in the description and click on install. If you are on VS Code and JetBrains, you can directly search for that extension or the plugin, and you'll find a verified plugin on the go. It is very easy. Now, in order to access your private recipes or the recipes you have marked as favorite, or the recipes you want your recipes to be in the top of the recommendation list on the coding assistant, you have to add an API token. So for that, I'll tell you in the live demo how we can add an API token. Next is how to use Codiga Coding Assistant. Now these are all the slides. If it would be better if we can directly go to the live demo. I request the team to kindly switch it to my screen. Is it on my screen? Great. So this is how you install Codiga Coding Assistant. By the time Abir can tell how Codiga Coding Assistant is better than other coding assistant, if Abir wants to. You're not audible, Abir.
Let me just, yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, you're
Yes,
audible.
you're
Yeah.
audible.
So Codiga really helps me to like write better code faster. Like, well, if I need meta tags or something like that, which is kind of repetitive across different apps, so I usually prefer Codiga over there, just pressing a dot and it generates the whole code, and I just need to change some variables right down there. So this adds a lot of productivity, and also enriches my, like, I can deliver the product really faster. So this is how like Codiga helps me out, and I have not seen any such facility anywhere else. So that's why my first preference is for Codiga. Yeah.
So getting back to the live demo, right? You must be thinking why choose Codiga code snippet based. Like on the other hand, we have many AI based code assistant. Why do we need to choose a non AI based code assistant when we have lots of artificial intelligence and machine learning code snippets available? Because when you are going to build an enterprise ready application, you cannot use open source codes. So we do not suggest open source code, and most of the major thing it is, we never use or store your code to train our models. That means your code only belongs to you, right? It's pretty fantastic when you can do it. Now, getting back to the live demo, this is if you want to install Codiga extension on VS Code and mark. I've already shared the link, but if you want to install, I'm going give the demo on VS Code. So you just have to search for the Codiga extension on the VS Code marketplace and just click on install. You can find the verified logo over here, and you can install the particular thing. Now, in order to add uh, the extension, basically the API token, so that you can access your private recipes, or you can access the recipes you have marked as starred your recipes or favorite, or you want your own private recipes to be on the top of the recommendation list. How do we do that? For that, we need to add a API token. So how do we add an API token? You log into our dashboard. In this case, it will be app.codiga.io at home. You can log in via GitHub, Gitlab, or Bitbucket. I am more comfortable with GitLab, therefore I do these things on GitLab. You just have to click on the right drop down menu and click on API tokens. Here you need to create a token here and give it a name. For example, I'm giving it VS Code CrossKnot demo. I'll create a token here. It would be request not to share this API token, although I'll delete this token after this demo. If you share this token to anyone, they'll be able to access all your private recipes, all your shared recipes. Please do delete or not share this token to anyone. Open VS Code, go to settings. Under settings, you go to extensions, and you'll find Codiga over here, and just paste the API token over here. Once you are done, it is good to go. Now you can access all your private recipes and recipes based on your user again. Now, can I have my slide back over here? Can someone from the team get my slide on the screen? Yes, it's the right one. No, so how do we use Codiga coding assistant? Well, there are two ways to use code snippets, either by searching them or using by shortcuts. Now, it was a pretty short time duration for keeping the slide. I want my screen to be back on the screen. So if someone from the team get my screen on screen, great, awesome. So how do we search code snippets using Codiga code snippets? You just have to click on Command Shift C or on MacBook and Control Alt C on uh, Windows, so it will open up a search bar for you. So how do we search snippets here? How do we search snippets here? For example, if I want to search a React function component, I'll just use the keyword React function and component. It will show me the result here. React, then function will automatically give me it will automatically recommend me a snippets based on the keywords. It is pretty simple, right? Now, with Codiga code snippet, it will automatically suggest you where you need to make changes. For example, here the snippet engine is asking me to change the component name because that is the place where we need to make changes. So here, I'll make example as Khalid. Simple. Now, there are other ways we can also access the code snippets. We have very much shortcuts. You must not be familiar with shortcuts. So how do we find a list of shortcuts over here? So you'll click on Command Shift C on Mac and Control Alt C on Windows to access a list of shortcuts available on the platform. That is Codiga cheat sheet. So let me show you how it's done. So here you can see it's Codiga Coding Assistant and it is suggesting me a list of shortcuts. Now, once you're familiar with all the shortcuts, how you can do that? How you can use these snippets? For example, if I'm working on, here I am on app.js file. I'll just put React dot and it will suggest me all the code snippets on React. We had abundance of code snippets available for React, Angular, and TypeScript, thanks to our engineering team and Abir, who have been working constantly to develop the code snippets for you all. So for example, here I want to add a functional component with create. It will automatically import me for this. Pretty simple, right? And you can see it has already automatically taken the app from app.js file. That is how smart code snippets work. So what exactly are these smart code snippets? Smart code snippets are a simple snippets with some additional information, which has file. It suggests you snippets based on file name, library, and language you are working on. So now this is how you can code faster using code snippets. Now, how do we add your own recipes? You must be thinking that we had a recipe marathon running right now. So whosoever is working on, sorry, whosoever will be adding your recipes and cookbook into our platform, and the one who makes the best cookbook out of their project will get some rewards from Codiga. So you must be thinking how to add a recipe into our hub. So for that, you'll just have to select the recipe particularly and click on create Codiga recipe. Once it is done, let me quickly bring this on screen. Yes, once it does it, it will take you to the Codiga web interface. You just have to write the name of the recipe you want to add and the library you want to select. For example, I'm just keeping the name as CrossKnot demo. Make sure you name the recipe based on what it does. Let us give the name on what it does. It is simply an React function component, so I'll use as React function component. Now the library here is React, of course, so I'll select as React, and I'll just keep the recipe as private, and I'll save it. You can keep it public. You need to keep it public when you are submitting in the Codiga recipe marathon. If you go in metadata, it will tell you that the description is already generated for you. Here, you'll just have to add a shortcut over here. CrossKnot dot demo. I'll just save it over here. And as you can see, the recipe is saved, and now you can use it directly on the ID. It takes 2 or 3 seconds to get it delivered on the marketplace, and you can see Codiga CrossNode demo is available on the platform. You can simply import it. I just made the recipe in front of you. So how do we add it in the cookbook? Let me quickly go back to here. If you go to the metadata again and you just have to click on add a cookbook here, you can either create a cookbook, or you can, if you're already having a cookbook, you can just add it over here. I'll create a cookbook here and just make it as cat cookbook for CrossKnot hacks. And you just have to write the description over here. So I'll just say this cookbook was made for recipe marathon at CrossKnot hacks. It contains a list of recipes on React. Just add, you can add anything else. Just you can keep the recipe as private, the cookbook as private or public, and you can have to create. Click on create, and the recipe is added to the cookbook. Now, once you go back, you just have to click on save. It is once the recipe is saved, you can find the cookbook over here, and you have to send this link on the form available on the Discord channel. So how do we share it with the groups, right? You can either, if you're working in a team, you can share these recipes on groups. So for that, I'll just go to groups, and if I want to create a group, I'll just create a group over here. Note that if you're working on GitHub, you cannot create a group. If you have login via GitHub integration, the GitHub organization will act as a group here. For adding Codiga to the GitHub organization, you can find the link on the GitHub integration on the doc.codiga.io. I'll just simply put the link over here so that you can know how we can integrate the GitHub, basically the Codiga onto your GitHub account or GitHub organization. I have already sent it in the chat. I request the team to put it in the YouTube comments. Getting back to keeping the name, I'll just keep the name as demo for CrossKnot. I'm keeping the name here, and here you can add your team members either by the username, either by the email. So I want to add Abir over here, so I'll write Abir at codiga.io and click send invite. So you can see the recipe, the invite will be sent it to Abir, and he can join the group by clicking this link. Now, how do we share these recipes or code snippets to the group? If I go on a recipe and I click the React Fun component and share it with the group, I have to click on edit recipe, go on groups and select the recipe. For example, I want to share it with demo for CrossKnot. So this is how it is done. So can I get my slides over here back again? So create and share private recipes with group. You have to select a recipe, click on edit recipe and select the group you want to share with. I already gave the demo here. So this was all my part. So over to Abir for making an awesome Next.js application with Codiga code snippets. So over to you, Abir.
Khalid, and this is Abir. I'm one of the software engineers at Codiga, and I love to demystify and unwind software abstractions and sometimes work on user inputs on our Codiga platform. So you can connect on Twitter to know more about me, but today let's focus on building something using Codiga code snippets extension. And I wanted to show you how you can code faster and better so that you can directly build your applications quickly in Hackathon. So let me just quickly share my screen. Screen 2. I hope my screen is visible. So here today we are going to see CrossKnot basic authentication code demo. So let me tell you why I'm choosing this topic, because in hackathons you try to most of the folks they try to build authentication service, and that's actually a lot of time consumption and writing the code and checking out the logic and all the stuff. So I'll try to simplify your authentication code by using code snippets and Codiga extension. So first step would be like cloning the GitHub repo. So I'm just mentioning this in the chat here. You can clone this. Yeah. So you can clone the GitHub repo. So once you cloned, and just writing the clone command will work. Let me show you. The git clone command works like this. So you can see just need to write like this git clone github.com and that particular URL, and it just clones it in the particular folder. Okay. So once we have basic auth, let's first go inside the directory itself. So we are in the directory right now. Okay, let me just, okay, we are inside in the directory. Yeah, we are already inside the directory, and let me just install the packages. So just write npmi and things will be installed. You can see the node modules here, things are getting installed. And right now everything is installed, and we can write npm run dev. So npm run dev, it tries to load the Next.js server, and let me just share the local host so that you can see how it looks like. So here you can see basic authentication demo, sign up component goes here. And once we have the sign up component, we are going to integrate with login component. So login component again goes here. So the thing it covers, we are not going to cover the database abstractions because database is completely dependent on the user, what kind of database or what are the custom database you want to enter. So, but I'll show you how to the how it can be like how you can use code snippets to be much faster in writing those particular function codes. So here, move on to the pages. Let me just zoom in a bit. Yeah. So move on to pages and also check our checklist. So if you go to our checklist, so we have installed the dependencies and started the project. Now we are going to actually create a sign up component. So what is a sign up component? So first, now you have to create a component folder first, right? So let's create a sign up component folder and create sign up .tsx. Tsx, and you can see some red because we haven't done anything. So I'm now going to actually see where is my sign up component. So just press the slash, the forward slash, and now you can search next sign up. Okay, so we have Next.js TypeScript sign up form. So we just clicked on it, and here you can see the code is live. So I guess this thing is visible. Yeah, let me just zoom out a bit. So you can see the sign up form, everything is ready, and you just need to, like, if you want to add some variables or any other data that you need to know, just need to add the fields over there, and that's all. The basic sign up form is ready for you, and you can directly use it now. Let's try to see our CrossKnot checklist again. So CrossKnot checklist, if you can see, now we have create login component. So what we'll try to do, let's save this sign up, and we are now going to see login component. I'll explain you the both the logics of login and sign up. First, just let's set up the things first. So once you go to the login tsx and just press, let me just do it again for you, slash next login, and here you can see the whole code is ready for you. Okay. And now what happens here, let me explain you the sign up code right now. Let's first save the login. Let's, so what sign up form does, it uses for the reactive form, that is another package for managing forms in the React.js applications. So again, it creates a form for you with email, password, and submit button, which also shares already a user, and you can actually log in after, if you are already a user, just providing a link for you to redirects you to the login page. So here, coming back to the main topic again, so now we have sign up and login, and what we are going to try is add the sign up page to the root page. Root pages are the first page that is rendered over here. If you just go to localhost 3000, here you can see sign up component goes here. So we are going to import the sign up component and try to put it up right in the index.tsx. So here, as VS Code features, you can just directly use sign up form, and that's it. So once you're done with this, now go to, so you can see something over here. It shows a name, it shows email, password, submit, and already user. Okay. So now few more things that we need to check out is package JSON, and let's see what else we have missed on. I see we have Tailwind CSS which is not getting yet applied. Let me just check it out if it is installed or not. So you see here we don't have the Tailwind. Okay, so we don't have the Tailwind. So okay, we have Tailwind. So let's rerun our server and let's check it out. how, why is it not working? So let's see. So once we rerun the server, and now let's log in. So here we have name, email, then we have password, submit, and already a user login. So once you click on login, it takes to login component goes here. So now we are going to go to login and try to import the login form. Login form. So once we have imported the login form, now you can see here we have the login form ready with email, password, login, user sign up. So here there's some issues with the Tailwind config. So let's set it up. I guess the issue is regarding how it is being structured here. Let me just check it out first. So we have the Tailwind config up, and also we have the dev dependencies too. So yeah, it should work. Mm, let's do it with Yarn. Maybe there's some issue with the Yarn stuff. So let's see. Maybe Yarn works well. So there's always some package manager issues, and you can use any one of them, Yarn or npm, whatever works. So you can use that. Let's see. Okay, there's some issue with the package. So let's resolve. Tailwind is not our focus for now. Let's focus on the main application. So you can see here we have directly the code. We have the login form ready. We have the sign up form also ready. So just a matter of bit of CSS, and that will be fixing up. Next, we have few APIs that we have to build. We have sign up API with nothing over here. So let's see our checklist. Getting back to our checklist, that add private page to our like this is about private page, and we have to actually also add this one more few more things in the checklist, that we have to add a API for sign up and login. So sign up and login, these APIs will be kind of, you can think it of as a dummy APIs. Here if I go for next sign up, so let's search for next sign up, and here you can see, okay, next, let me just see there, next API. So next custom sign up. Okay. So here we have something which actually tries to, let me explain you what sign up API does. So whenever this API gets a request, it tries to get the data from the body and checks. Here you need to write your valid user logic, because this logic is completely dependent on the developer, who is having different kind of databases or what kind of database entries that he want to query on and all those things. So that's why it has to be a custom logic over here, and based on that you can return the valid user as true or false. This is just for dummy purpose, and if valid user is true, then you have to write your custom business logic for creating the user. So what does create user does? Create user will create a user in the database with particular user data, and after the creation is successful, it will actually get you to it will send a 200 response to the particular endpoint, and that's all. So here the valid user is like created and everything is working fine. So there you have to write your own custom logic. If you are using any authentication library, you can just use that particular authentication library's custom logic, and that's how you can actually create a wrapper over the custom authentication, and everything is in server side, so you need not worry. This won't get exposed in your client bundles or any public interfaces. So this is about sign up. Similarly, we are going to create about the login same. So login.ts, and we are going to see here, let me just check it out. So we have login.ts, and let's see next custom login. So once we have next custom login, see, I'm just searching from the Codiga code snippets, and rest of the things is getting on my plate. I don't have to worry about all this stuff like if user is authenticated. See, particularly I just need to focus on writing my custom business logic for authentication. So because various companies, various organizations use a different logic for authentication every time. Either they need some reCAPTCHA validation or something like that. They need to write it directly over here, and then return the user authenticated, whether it's true or it's false. Based on that, the redirection will happen. The cookie will be set up in the auth true, and Here you can actually use the serialized cookie, and just for this particular hackathon purpose I use this. But the more better practice will be using cookie library. Cookie, you can just install it by using npm I cookie or yarn add cookie. That will actually get you to the like a particular in serialized format. The headers will be set in serialized format, so you can use that in order to set the headers for authentication. Always use cookie here because you can set up the expiry tokens, the path, and different kind of measurements. Like cookies like a valid standard for site functionality, so you can use it. Apart from that, if the authentication fails, uh, the whole stuff will be that it will be a 400 error, and it shows user exists and server is denying to process the request. So this is how it is, and that's how things work for the login parameter. Now you can save it. Again, you can save it, and see here we have not written the database queries here, and we are not going to cover database queries because it is completely dependent on the user. So you can see how the sign up and login works, but you cannot see it in the action here. Let me just show you how it will work. So coming back to our main add main route, like main checklist, we have to add private page and add some meta tags. So before that, let's preview what's happening here in our login page, and let's see. Okay, so we have this, and let me just, so suppose someone is saying s, and let's hope everything is saved, and we just clicked on submit. So it takes us to login. That means things are working. Why it takes us to login here? See, if you go to sign up form, the implementation is like this. Just go to sign up, and let me go to sign up form here. The implementation is like this. It tries to fetch the api. It sends a request to api slash sign up with method post and particular json body. And if the status is 200, that is the response received is 200, and it will directly change the path name to login. So when you sign up, it just we are not processing any data technically here. We are just returning the request as 200, and we are saying user is already authenticated. This is not the ideal practice. You have to actually write your custom business logic. Again, I am repeating, you need to write your own custom business logic, and make sure the user authenticated is coming from the business logic, not the hard coded value. So once it's done, you are like logged in, and now it's you're signed up, and now you can actually simply log into your service. That's how things work. And let me just show you again here. So we have added the private. We have to add the private pages right now. So the private page, let's see, we have private tsx, and we are going to use similar stuff. Okay, so let me just take some time to load. Next, private route. So here you can see the private route. We have this something like cookie, and I see there is the dependencies are not the typescript dependencies are not installed. So we'll just try to install it so that it works. So opening my terminal, and we are going to, I hope everything is audible. Yeah. So as you can see, now we have installed the dependency, and yes, so we have the so like the declaration files are installed, and you can see this is the private route, and until unless you are logged in, it won't show you you are logged in. So let's just check it out. If we go to private, let's go to private and see. It shows internal server error because we just installed the cookie param. Okay, let's just reload the whole server, and let's start it again because we installed the cookie. Okay, let me just use npm. We install it, and so here, if you go to private now, so default export is not in component. Okay, we need to check out the default export. Okay, we have the default export. We have to save it. Okay, we have saved the private file, and now you can see Whether if you are trying to go to private, it will take you back to login again. So if I'm trying to enter private here, it takes me back to login. Private, it takes me back to login. What it does, it says the authentication is false and is not authenticated. And suppose like if it's not authenticated, we need to just like redirect to the login from the server side. Keep a note. This is get server side props, and it always runs on the server side. It is not exposed to public, so you can even directly write your database query, something like db dot get user, something like this, get user, and you can write the particular username or something like that. Okay, so it is completely hidden from the public view, so you can actually directly use it. So you can directly use it for your database queries and any other like secret environment variables or anything. You can use it safely in the get server side props. You need not worry whether it's exposed to public, or whatever you see inside this private will be exposed to public, because that's how the next year smart bundling works. So here you can see this private route, and it just if I just try to see here, if I make it something like let's remove this redirect parameter for now, and let's see how things work. So let me just remove everything right here, and also return the props, something like this and like this. We're returning this and we are trying to go to private, so it's just making the private route unauthenticated. So you can see the private route here. So this is the private route being displayed over here. So this is how the whole thing works. You have to like code your own basic logic. The Codiga code snippet is really here what it's writing the whole boilerplate code for you, and just need to focus on the custom logic, not on writing the whole boilerplate codes right now. Okay, so that's how you can actually develop bit faster, and that's how things works for Codiga. So try to install Codiga and check out your like install it by searching about Codiga code snippets, install and write your some own recipes. Try to like I have written few of the recipes for meta tags. As I see, we have this on our checklist, add meta tags. So what we'll do, what meta tags means, you can see over here localhost 3000 slash private. This sounds really weird. Usually site doesn't sound like that. Here you can see the title, CrossKnot authentication demo. Similarly, here should be something like CrossKnot hacks, suppose CrossKnot hacks. So what we are going to do, we are trying to create a component known as meta component, and we are going to just name it as meta.tsx. And now what I'll try to do is next meta, I'll search for it so that it works. Next meta, next.meta. You can see the meta tags for next year's projects. Just click on it. Boom. Here you have all the titles. You just need to write title. Now here the smart snippet functionality comes. I want to write Codiga CrossKnot, Codiga collab with CrossKnot. Okay. So that's how you have written the title. Now if you just press tab, it goes to description. Demo session for CrossKnot hacks. Okay, that's how it does the description. You need not worry about rest of the things. Now key one is about the keywords. You can just write hackathon is the keyword, and then site URLs. Site URL should be I guess if you are in crossnothacks.devfolio.com, you can say like this. Or now the image link, you can take any image link and just put it right away there. Then you can add your Twitter handle, website Twitter handle. So what happens when you do this, save it and try to import this component directly over here in the index. So what it does, instead, yeah, we can even import it directly in the app, because yeah, that works. So we'll try to use it over here so it is applied. This is not a good practice here, because you may have some static or dynamic content which has to be rendered on the meta. So I won't recommend you this approach, but you can try out using particularly this one, just for the stuff, just for the sake, you can just try it out like that. So let me just save it for you here, and let's save next meta tags, and we just saved it. So once we have saved it, we have the private route also saved. Everything is saved, and let's check it out how it looks. So you can see Codiga collab with CrossKnot, and whenever you are going to share this particular link, or whenever you deploy it to Vercel or AWS or S3 or anywhere, there you can actually put the image link, and it will render the image link whenever you are sharing on WhatsApp or Twitter or anywhere on LinkedIn. So just make sure you replace this image links. So that's how things work. And here you can see this open graph Facebook has been like mentioned for the, like, these tags are particularly for Facebook whenever you're sharing on Facebook. And in fact, open graph works for LinkedIn too. And this is for Twitter, as you can see the Twitter cards, and this works for Twitters. So you can even edit it, duplicate the recipe, and try to edit it, add some more meta tags if needed. But this is what general for, like, for general SEO, it works great. So this is how things work, and I hope you all liked it. And let me just get back to the StreamYard now. Yeah. So uh, I guess we have actually let organizers take the stage, and let's see. Over to you, organizers. Yeah, you're muted,
You're mute,
Anushka.
Anushka.
Let's
Yeah.
see if there's any question in the live chat.
Oh, there are
I
questions.
have a question for Abir. Why are you on light theme on VS Code?
Though
That's fun. That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, I'll tell you the reason is during the daytime I usually prefer light, and night times I try to be on dark. So that's how it is. Mm.
Okay, I understood.
Mm.
I think there's no questions, so we can end the
Um,
session.
yeah.
Before ending the session, I would like to add a few more things. We are having a couple of programs for the community members, like Codiga Student Ambassadors Program, Codiga Technical Writers Program, and Codiga Open Source Developer Program. So, if anyone is interested for these programs, you can join our Discord. That is discord.codiga.io. I'll also put the link in the description box so that you can, sorry, in the chat box, so you can have a look. And one second, on these
Yeah.
opportunities will let you to connect with all the ambassadors as well as work directly with the
Yeah.
Codiga core team. And for the open source dev program, I guess Abir would be more able to explain
Yeah,
about how
sure. So,
open source dev
yeah.
program work.
So, sure. So, if you have gone through the links that we have shared with you for open source dev program, we are actually we want you to build some open source plugins for different IDEs for Codiga, and you will be getting paid for it. And also, that's a reward that you have contributed and build a plugin for the IDE. Apart from that, building the Codiga community is growing right now, and it's the right time to get involved and get in, like, invest your, like, time in the community to create some recipes, because that helps to improve the platform for us, for others, and those who all are using Codiga. There are more than 14,000 developers who are using Codiga, so be a part of change. I will say influence people, like how you can actually code better and faster. So not just writing better code, but writing the better code faster is our mission. So make sure that you join our community there and get involved in the community. Thank you.
And here's a submission link if you want to participate in the recipe marathon. Just to give you a quick recap of what recipe marathon is. That you have to make a cookbook out of your own, basically, project. Whether you are making a React project, whether you are making an e-commerce website, whether you are making a Discord bot, even a Discord bot, you can add the codes or reusable block of code using using the Codiga platform. And once you are making this and adding it to a cookbook, please submit the link of the cookbook in here in the form. The one who makes a good cookbook, the whole team will get some rewards from Codiga. So do participate here, and we'll love to see the projects if
That's
we
awesome.
get.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Uh, do you want anyone want to ask any questions from Abir and Khalid? Any questions? Okay, I think there's no question. We can end the session. Thank you so much, Khalid and Abir, for taking an awesome session. It was really insightful and worth it, especially all the shortcuts and also the marathon you talked about. So, guys, that's it for today's session. It was a part of the 36-hour virtual hackathon which the CrossKnot community is organizing and is currently going on. We have prizes for the top 8 winners and rewards for each for different categories like Girls Power Hack, Everyone's Prizes, and many more. I've shared the link to check out and apply for it in the live chat. I hope you all enjoyed a lot and got to learn from both of them. Thanks again, Khalid and Abir. Thank you so much, viewers, for staying till the end. Make sure to check out the hackathon. Have a good day. Thank you. And all the best for hackathon.
Yeah, all the best.
All the best.